What is good, guys? Welcome back to another vlog. Today I've got a few things to do, just a few small things on the Sylvia following the last track night. So first things first, I'm going to have a look underneath and see if I can see exactly where that gearbox oil leak's coming from and try and determine if it's the input shaft seal or maybe something more serious. Other than that, I actually picked up a pair of brides. So yeah, we'll be trying to fit these today, and I'll show you guys more about those in a minute. But to kick it off, I will be getting this car out, and I think we'll pull the Sylvia inside because it's way too hot to work out there on the driveway. It's Darwin. Yeah, it's just way too hot. So yeah, I'll move these out and we'll pick it up from there. Here's just one of those days where you try and do a job which you think is going to be really nice and simple, and then just small things just keep happening and just make like a half an hour job like a 2-hour job. I moved all the cars and attempted to put the jack underneath the car. It's a brand new jack. I just took it out of the box, and just to find out that the wheels are too tight. The bolts are too tight. They're holding the wheels and they're not moving. So now I've got to loosen the wheels on the jack to be able to jack the car up. Rage. On initial inspection, it looks like it might be coming from the drain plug. It's definitely not coming from the filler plug because that is pretty bone dry, but there's a lot more oil right where the gearbox bell housing meets the engine, in particular right here, which is telling me that it is coming from inside the bell housing quite obviously. When I put the motor in, I actually had to replace the front plate on the gearbox because the little shaft that protrudes out of the front plate was actually snapped clean at the base. So I had to order a whole new front plate from EFI Solutions, and I put that in. It wasn't too expensive. It was about 70 bucks, I think it was. But I have a feeling that the bolts might either not be tight enough, or if I can't remember if there was a gasket there, maybe the gasket is pinched or displaced. Yeah, but unfortunately, to have a look at that, it means either dropping the whole gearbox out or pulling the motor out, which in this case, I think I'll just be dropping the gearbox out, but that is not a today project. Okay, so now that I have a bit more clarity about where the leak's coming from, I can actually start making tracks to fixing that in the near future. Probably won't be anytime soon. We're not in a great rush. There's not another track event coming up anytime soon. So we've got a bit of time to tinker with it and just take our time, make sure it's done properly. And which brings us to these seats. Yeah, I took delivery to these a couple of days ago. I bought them off the marketplace. They popped up within like an hour. I messaged the dude. They need a bit of a clean. They're a bit dirty. They're not genuines. They're just fakies because, you know, fake it till you make it. But they will allow me to run my Takata harnesses in the car, which I've been waiting to run for a long time, and I will actually get a bit more hold in my seat when I'm on the track. So I don't know if you guys noticed in the previous videos when I was on the track, I was all over the place in the stock seats. It was uncomfortable. It was just not a nice ride. But yeah, there's so much ash all over the floor, like, and burnt leaves and stuff. And in Darwin, once a year, they actually do controlled burns for all the bushland around here. And unfortunately, residents like myself suffer a lot with ash. That just, everything gets covered in ash. If it's outside, it's gonna get covered in ash. My pool was just, yeah, there's a pool guy out here literally now cleaning it because I can't be bothered cleaning it and I don't have to pay for it to be cleaned. So he's getting rid of all the ash, and yeah, it's just a nightmare. So I might quickly blow this garage out because it's just everywhere. So yeah, let's hope that these seats are just a simple bolt in because they come out of an S chassis, and let's hope that I don't run into any stupid issues with trying to get them in. I'll probably just try and throw one in and see how it goes, and then I'll film the second one or something like that, just so I can just have a feel of it. So far, everything's gone to plan. There's been no weird, like, unusual misalignment issues. Everything's lined up fine. The front 3 bolts went on pretty well and are all in nicely. The back one, however, is a stud down there. So the nut that was on there that was holding the seat on before, I don't know if you guys can see. Hang on a second. The base washer that's built into the nut actually wasn't clearing the side of the seat rail, so I wasn't able to get that on. So to combat that, I've just got my own washer, and I've just found another nut that goes on there. and that's good as gold. Cool, so that's all in. Like I said before, no major dramas. Functioning slider, so I'm happy with that. So let's get cracking and fit the passenger on. So I literally knew it was a bit too good to be true that it was this easy. Looks like there is some sort of extension plate to marry these two up, but yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Actually, I do remember when I was pulling off this one, it was super weird because that bolt didn't want to come out because it was stuck underneath there. Maybe that's the extension plate we need. Alright, maybe it shouldn't be too bad then. Oh, there you go. It's just at an awkward angle inside the car. Oh well, I guess I am pulling that off and reutilizing that plate then. Well, that is it. My bride's seat's installed relatively successfully. There was obviously that small issue with the back left seat rail hole that didn't line up properly, but relatively easy job otherwise. If any of you guys are interested in buying these seats, I'm not exactly sure what they are. I think they might be stock SR S13 seats. Hit me up on Instagram, they'll be for sale for sure. And if anyone is interested in this Scandal Eyes Flex mascara, you can have that. While we're here, I'm actually gonna try and fit to the best of my ability my Takata harnesses as well today, if we can. I generally like to try and keep them so that you can use the factory seatbelt as well as the harness at the same time. Just as a preference, I guess you can say. But I'll try and fit the harnesses as best I can with what I've got today. I might need to duck to the hardware store and get a couple of eye bolts or whatever I may need, but look, unfortunately at the moment I'm not able to go to the hardware store, so I'm going to try and make do with what I've got at the moment. So I was just sussing out some mounting points for where these harnesses are going to go, and obviously to run the factory seatbelt still, that bolt's going to have to remain in place. So what I might eventually do actually in the future is go, when I get a chance to get to the hardware store, when I'm able to, is actually get an eye bolt, replace this bolt to hold this bracket in, and then I can actually use the eyelet of the eye bolt to hook the harness onto. It'll be that side, and this side I'm probably gonna have to sort something else out. I'm probably just gonna hook them onto like the actual seat for now, just to be in place before I use it on the track. And in the rear, there's a couple of different options when it comes to doing them in the rear. Generally, it'll be on your roll cage, is where they'll hook onto. What I've seen a couple of other guys do, and what I will probably end up doing until I get a roll cage, is getting some eye bolts and going into the factory seatbelt bolt holes with your eye bolts and just hook them onto there in the back. So what I've done is I've actually just laid them out And you can see what I was talking about when I mean hooking them on. That's where they hook onto, and then obviously this is all in the buckle and on the sides, and then the two at the back. So we'll go ahead and put them in one by one. And I'm probably not going to film this because it's just simple and easy, and it's just going to be way easier for me to do with two hands. So I'll pick it up once I've mounted them both in. Sweet, so as you can see, I've got the harnesses in and adjusted to my size. I got the passenger one in as well. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I found a nice little spot for each one to fit. So yeah. Probably remember me touching on the actual drift night video. That little vacuum hose nipple is just sort of like there and not blocked off or anything. I'm probably just going to block that off for the moment. That's just going to sort the small little idle issue out at the moment. I know everything's stock, everything is factory, so it's only going to run the factory amount of boost. I'm not really worried about seeing how much boost I'm running. Also, another issue I did notice on the track was this car's got extended tie rods and cut and shut knuckles. It doesn't actually have rack spaces for some reason, so I was getting excessive rack bind at full lock, especially on such a small track is when I just noticed it the worst. So it's definitely something I'm gonna have to look at getting before I go on the track again before the next event. So yeah, it was quite a constructive little afternoon, just tidying up a few bits and bobs on the S13. There's not a whole lot going on at the moment, so it was good just to take a day just to recoup and just tidy those few things up, because it's always small things like that get out of control, you know, if you just leave them sit around. I think the water's looking pretty good, so I'm gonna go for a quick swim. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash the like button. You guys have been absolutely killing it lately. Also, if any of you guys are interested in buying the seats that came out of my S13 today, make sure you leave a comment below or DM me on Instagram, and I'm sure we can make a good deal happen. So I just want to say thank you guys all again for the support. The channel's been a good success over the last couple of weeks that it's been launched, and keep it coming, and we'll keep the good content coming. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching today's video. Till next time, guys.